Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'm hopping on here because on Friday I announced the opening of my online university where I teach people how to heal themselves and develop a business. So I'm so excited um and so this weekend, I got to spend time with just some of my students that have already gone through the program. We had a field day and had lunch because there's been so much that has happened. And in the midst of this, we made a challenge. We challenged each other that we would go live on social media for 30 days. And part of that is that we have for so long kind of hid behind the scenes, doing all these things for people, but not really stepping into our power and who we are, as far as being able to teach people and help people coach people through various things. So the cool thing is we don't have any particular format that we're going to follow. We don't have any particular curriculum. It's kind of like we're just doing a garbage post. I was doing this challenge with my marketing coach on getting on social media of just having a garbage post, just post whatever it is. It's called the garbage can post or challenge, basically. And so we're kind of doing the same thing with us just going live, just coming up here and just chatting. So today, what I did want to chat about is that I did a post yesterday when I was talking about procrastination and how when we procrastinate on our dreams, how we're procrastinating on our freedom, we're procrastinating on the wealth, the health, everything that we desire. If we're procrastinating on our dreams, we're procrastinating on all those other things that we want as well. And I had a lot of people come into my inbox and want to let's talk about it. So I'm just going to take this live and talk about it and do a teaching. So, what is procrastination? Typically, we procrastinate on our dream, or pretty much we procrastinate on anything, is because deep rooted, there is a particular point in our life where we felt like nothing we could do was ever good enough. No matter what we attempted, no matter what we tried, no matter how hard we tried, it was just never good enough. Someone had an issue with it. So what that did was it now has created this belief that it has to be perfect. So then what happens is we're trying to strive for perfection. So then that way it will be good enough. But then what happens is we keep procrastinating it until it gets to a point where we have no choice but to do it. Then, when we have no choice but to do it, then we're rushed because we don't have time to make it perfect because there's not enough time. So, we have to do the best that we can in the short amount of time. Then we accomplish it, and it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, number one. And then you turn it in or you complete it, and this is just anything in life. And this also includes our dreams, pursuing our dreams. So then what happens is we wait to the last minute, we do whatever we need to get done, we half-ass it, and we did all right. And to everybody else or to whatever we think we're expect, no one else notices what we notice. However, we beat ourselves up because we're like, you know how good it could have been if I hadn't waited to the last minute. If I would have just did it as soon as I knew I had to do it. If I would have just stuck to it. If I would have just stayed committed. We come up with all of this negative talk. If I would have, if I could have, if I whatever. But here's the beauty: is that's over, and now we have a new day, and we can start today. So that's kind of a lot like what this garbage can challenge is about, is just doing it and who cares? Just get out of your way. Just try something and don't strive for perfection. Because guess what? Every time we strive for that, it holds us back from actually getting what we want. So, how do I recommend stopping the perfection cycle and not moving forward in your dreams? And this can be for anything. So, for example, I'm gonna use me because then that way I can't get, somebody don't feel like I'm talking about them because I work with so many people. So I like always using me because I can only talk for me. So I have been wanting to start my own show. And so the three thing questions that I always ask myself is, well, it's not really questions, it's statements. And the first one is start where you are. The second one is use what you have. And the third one is do what you can. So I want to start my own show. Well, guess what I don't have? I don't have millions of dollars for a studio. I don't have, well, currently, it is not in my budget to have a studio. So where can I start? Where can I start? Okay, guess what I do have? I have access to social media. I just have to hit a live button like I'm doing right now, and I can just start talking. That's what I have. Use what I have. Access to the internet. Okay. Do what I can. Just get up here and talk. Just do it. Don't come up here with anything scripted. Don't put any stress on it. Just come up here and just start talking about whatever you feel like you want to talk about. Because then what's going to happen as I work through the fears, then I'm going to start educating myself because we start looking to make everything perfect that we're spending so much time trying to figure out how to make it perfect and we don't have that time. So it's like, let me just start recording. And then what's going to happen? I'm like, okay, I've been recording. Ooh, now I would love to learn how to attract more people to it. So then I'm going to figure out how to do that. If that's go on YouTube, now I have just one thing I'm searching for to learn. Okay, now I figured this out. Now let me implement. Let me sit around and investigate how this works out. Let me experiment. Do these hashtags work? Do these titles work? What worked the best? Okay, after doing that for 30, 60, 90 days, guess what? You figured out what works, what don't works. Now what do we want to do? And before you know it, then I'm going to be worried. Then I'm going to be looking at, okay, how do I have the best quality? How do I have the right cameraman and the editing? Or am I just going to continue to be live and not worry about any of that? But those are things that I get to decide when I get there. But what happens, and the reason we procrastinate so often, is we're looking at the big elephant and not just each bite we can take to accomplish it. So when you're looking at your dreams and your goals or whatever it is, just stop where you're at and say, okay, if this is my goal, if my goal is to have this particular dream or to accomplish this particular thing by this date, what baby steps can I do starting right now? Where am I at? What do I have right now I can use? And what can I do right now without having any of the information? What can I do? And then you start. And it doesn't feel so scary. It doesn't feel so overwhelming. And then you're looking at this as an experiment. So if you're looking at it as an experiment, you're figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And then guess what? That releases some of that perfectionism. And then you begin to heal yourself because then you're going to start to trust yourself because then you're going to realize, like, hey, no matter where I start, no matter what I learn, I'm still going to have to fumble the ball to learn what really works for me. That's what life is. That's our whole entire existence on earth is figuring out what works for us and what doesn't work. But we overcomplicate it. So that is my I'm going to say spilling the tea today in my perspective. So thank you for joining, and I will see you lovely souls tomorrow to talk about who knows what, but I'm excited. Later. Love you.